Good evening. You're watching Just the News. I'm Amata Balachandra. We start off today's bulletin with the hijab controversy in the state of Karnataka. On the fourth day of the hijab case hearing in the Karnataka High Court, the petitioner's advocate asked the judges why the hijab was being singled out when there were, and I quote, hundreds of religious symbols from dupattas, bangles, turbans, crosses, and bindis worn by people every day, and quote. Now, Advocate Ravi Varma Kumar, appearing for the petitioner, said, and I quote, why is the government picking on hijab alone and making this hostile discrimination? Bangles are worn. Are they not religious symbols? Why are you picking on these poor Muslim girls? End quote. Now, the hearing has been adjourned till tomorrow afternoon. According to the Indian Express, earlier in the day, chaos prevailed in several pre-university colleges in Karnataka, which were opened after remaining shut for a week owing to the hijab law, as the burqa-clad Muslim students were not let in. Degree colleges were reopened on the 16th of February. Meanwhile, reacting to this in the State Assembly, Karnataka Chief Minister Bommai has said that the High Court interim order, which prohibits the use of hijabs, saffron shawls, and other religious symbols, does not apply to degree colleges in the state. Now, Bommai told the assembly, and I quote, High Court has said only colleges where uniforms are prescribed, a ban will apply, end quote. Meanwhile, videos have now emerged of police personnel lathi-charging women in Ghaziabad hijab protest. Now, this comes days after the Ghaziabad police booked a group of women for protesting against the Karnataka hijab curbs in Koda colony. Now, the Indian Express has said that the police have claimed that the protesters attacked the personnel first. According to NDTV, which has accessed the FIR, it says that the police said that they came to know that some 15 Muslim women, without taking permission, had gathered in Ghaziabad's Sunny Bazaar Road with anti-government posters. Now, the police have responded to the video, saying that the protesters attacked their team first and were holding a protest without permission. According to a report by TOI, police have said that they reached the spot after receiving information about the protest and asked the women if they had permission for the demonstration. Ghaziabad remains under Section 144 of the CRPC, which was imposed because of assembly polls. It prevents the gathering of more than 5 people at a time. On to other news coming in from across the country now. Some tragic news stories, starting off with music composer and singer Bappi Lahiri, who passed away yesterday night at the age of 69. Dr. Deepak Namjoshi, who is a treating doctor and also the director of Mumbai's Criticare Hospital, told PTI, and I quote, he died due to obstructive sleep apnea shortly before midnight, end quote. Now, Bappi Lahiri popularized disco music in India in the 80s and 90s and was also fondly known as the disco king of Bollywood. Also in Karnataka, renowned Kannada writer and poet Chennaveera Kanavi passed away at the age of 93 due to age-related illness. Now, he was admitted at SDM Medical College Hospital in Dharwad, Karnataka on Wednesday. He was the director of Prasaranga of the Karnataka University from 1956 to 1983. He was also honored with the Sahitya Academy Award in 1981 for his poetry work, Jiva 20. Also in the news, Deep Sidhu, a Punjabi actor accused in the 2021 Red Fort violence incident, died in a road accident on a highway near Sonipat last night. ANI reported that the car had rammed into a stationary truck as per the Haryana police. Now, Sidhu was arrested on the 9th of February last year on charges of inciting protesters during the Republic Day tractor rally organized by farmers against the centre's farm laws. He was later granted bail on the 17th of April. However, he was arrested on the same day on the basis of an FIR filed by the Archaeological Survey of India in connection with the Red Fort violence. 9 days later, Sidhu was granted bail in the second case as well. Moving on from these stories now, while speaking at the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI, World Sustainable Development Summit, Prime Minister Modi said that India's energy requirements are expected to double in the next 20 years, and that denying this energy to the people of India will be denying life itself in millions. He said, and I quote, successful climate actions also need adequate financing. For this, developed countries need to fulfill their commitments on finance and technology transfer. End quote. On to COVID news now. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan has written to all states and union territories asking them to review and amend or end additional COVID restrictions as the pandemic in the country shows a declining trend. Now, this letter, however, said that states or union territories must continue monitoring the trajectory of cases and the spread of infection on a daily basis as well. Moving on now to business news coming in from across the country. Former MD and CEO of Yes Bank, Rana Kapoor, has been granted bail by a Mumbai court in a money laundering case related to the wrongful loss of over 300 crore rupees to the bank. Now, businessman Gautam Thapar and 7 others were also granted bail in the case pertaining to the sale of a property at a prime location in Delhi. Rana Kapoor was granted bail on the following conditions. First, he can't leave the country, and the court directed the seizure of his passport. He's also required to attend the court on all dates when the matter is fixed. He's also supposed to submit a provisional surety of 5 lakh rupees. Moving on to environment news, environmental report published by the UN on Tuesday claimed pollution from pesticides, plastic, and electronic waste is causing more deaths worldwide than COVID. Now, according to Worldometer, while COVID has claimed nearly 5.9 million lives, pollution is causing 9 million premature deaths a year, according to this report. The UN has also called for an immediate and ambitious action to ban certain toxic chemicals. Moving on to international news now, starting off with the Ukraine crisis, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has set up a dedicated control room and 24-hour helpline as well. Additionally, the MEA in a statement has said, and I quote, the Embassy of India has been receiving several appeals about non-availability of flights from Ukraine to India. In this regard, students are advised not to resort to panic, but book the earliest available and convenient flights to travel to India, end quote. Now, for those of you who want to check the details of the control room and the toll-free number, all of those details are in the description of this YouTube video. Now, after Russia has said that it was returning more troops and weapons to bases, NATO Secretary General has said, and I quote, at the moment, we have not seen any withdrawal of Russian forces, end quote. Meanwhile, Ukraine's president has told the BBC earlier today, and I quote, we don't see any withdrawal yet, end quote. Now, according to Reuters, NATO accused Russia on Wednesday of sending more troops to a massive military buildup around Ukraine, even as Moscow has said that it was withdrawing forces and was open to diplomacy. Also, the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Wednesday criticized a move by Russian lawmakers towards recognizing 2 Russian-backed breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine as independent, saying it would be illegal and draw a swift response. Meanwhile, the Russians' envoy to the European Union has rejected claims that Russia is about to attack Ukraine. He told a German newspaper, and I quote, as far as Russia is concerned, I can assure you that there will be no attack this Wednesday. There will be no escalation in the coming week either, or in a week after that, or in the coming month. Wars in Europe rarely start on a Wednesday, end quote. Moving on to sports news right now, and this is trending across the globe. In an interview with the BBC, tennis star Novak Djokovic has said that he would rather miss out on future tennis trophies than be forced to get a COVID vaccine. The 20-time Grand Slam winner was deported from Australia last month, if you remember, after the government cancelled his visa in a row over his vaccine status. Now, he has said that he is not an anti-vaxxer, but the freedom to choose what you put into your body is essential to him. He also said missing competitions such as the French Open over his jab status was, and I quote, the price that I'm willing to pay, end quote. That brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.